friends. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about shapes. Last week we talked about 2D shapes, or what we sometimes call flat shapes. We talked about how squares have 4 sides, 2, 3, 4 sides and 4 corners, 2, 3, 4. They're basically just flat square, and for squares all the sides are the same length. Unlike rectangles, which do have 4 sides, but 1, 2, 3, 4, but you can see we have 2 longer sides on the top and bottom, or however you hold it, and then opposite 2 short sides, and it's also at 4 corners, 3 and 4. We also talked about how a circle is just one continuous curved line. There are no sides and no corners to a circle. A triangle has 1, 2, 3 sides and 1, 2, 3 corners. And we also talked about how this triangle has all the sides equal, but not all triangles have all the sides equal. As long as they meet in 3 points and they're straight lines, it's a triangle. And then last, the hexagon, hold that this way for a minute, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners, or points, or sometimes they even call them vertices. We want to get real fancy. Okay, so that's what we talked about last week. This week we're getting ready to talk about 3D shapes, or they're also called solid shapes. 3D shapes or solid shapes. To start, I'm going to read you our poem that we started right before we left school, and then we'll get right into learning about 3D shapes. Okay, here's our poem that was also sent home by email. This might look very familiar to you. I also took a picture of it and put it in this post. It's the one from our classroom. I was in there the other day and I decided I'd snap a picture and post it here. So let's read it together. 3D shapes. 3D shapes are fat, not flat. A cone is like a party hat. And look at the pictures as we read. A sphere is like a bouncy ball, the roundest shape of them all. A cylinder is like a can of pop. A cube is like the dice you drop. 3D shapes are here and there. 3D shapes are everywhere. So at the very end of that poem, it says that 3D shapes are everywhere. And I bet if you just look around your room that you're sitting in right now, you'll find things that are shaped like different 3D or solid shapes. So we're going to start by talking about the cube. This is a cube. One of the things you'll notice about a cube is that when you hold it straight like this, it looks just like a square. That's because a cube is made up of squares. Let me show you. So I'm going to hold the cube still and just kind of first rotate it. But then so that we can count the sides, I'm going to kind of tilt it a little bit this way. And I'm going to count. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then back here is 4. And then the top is 5 and the bottom is 6. So there are 6 sides to a cube, and those sides are square. Each cube, however, does not have 6 points, or corners, or vertices. It has 8. Ready? Let's count. 1 back here, 2, 3, 4, and then here, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 6 flat sides and 8 corners. That's a cube. And the next shape we're going to learn about is called a cylinder. A cylinder, if you hold it nice and straight like this, might look a bit like a rectangle. But it doesn't really have any straight sides. does have a couple of flat sides that look like a circle. One here, and I'll slowly turn it, and one here. So you can see why they say it looks like a can. Cans have round sides, the shape can roll, and it has flat top and bottom, but you can't roll that way. I like that you have kind of two shapes to look at when you look at a cylinder. Okay, that's a cylinder. Next, we will look at a cone. When we look first at a cone, it looks a lot like a triangle. It's got the three sides and the point. But these sides are not flat sides. Only one side of a cone is flat, and that is the bottom. It's got one circle-shaped flat bottom, unlike the cylinder that has two. And it comes to one point at the top. Okay, so there's one vertex in a cone, one flat side, and even though it can't roll to you, it does roll, as you can see. Okay, it moves on its curved edges or sides, whatever you want to call that part, the curved part. Okay, and finally, I need to stand for this one or else it's going to roll everywhere. A sphere. A sphere looks a lot like a circle, except it's not flat like a circle. It is round like a ball. A sphere has no flat sides and no corners or vertices, and it can roll really well. As you can see, you probably have a bunch of spheres at home. Balls that you play with or things like that are spheres. It's a tricky word to say. Ear. So it's like saying the word fear with s in front. Sphere. And I put it on my little stand so that it won't roll away. Okay, so that was our review. We have a cube, a cylinder, a cone, and a sphere. And if you like, I just wanted to direct you to on our Splash Learn math page that some of you are using. There are new shape activities added to that you might want to try, especially for 3D shapes, but there are some for flat shapes too. But the two that you might want to check out for 3D shapes, I've posted in this post the name of the games, but I'll say them too. They're called Introduction to Three-Dimensional Shapes and Identify Three-Dimensional Shapes. And there's a couple of fun games for each one of those. So I hope you enjoyed our lesson on shapes, 3D shapes today. And I will be talking to you soon.